Welcome to X-Men 98, our video podcast continuation. We started with X-Men 92 with Night of the Sentinels, recording last summer, and now it's this summer. Today, the first 3 episodes of X-Men 97 Season 2 have dropped. We're going to cover the first 2 because it's easier to get this out fast that way. And also, it turns out that the first 2 episodes were kind of a self-contained 2-parter anyway, so that's pretty good. I'm Jim. I'm the host. I'm a former rave videographer turned screenwriter. I'm currently working in TV in Vancouver. This is my co-host Jamie Gibb from Gay Twitter.
Yeah, from the internet, really.
Yeah.
I also work in television, but most people will know me from being pretty abrasive online.
Yeah. And over here, we have Ben. Ben and I worked in the
Hello.
He is a character from The Simpsons that is on loan from us. Like, he's tuning in live from Springfield every week. We're in Vancouver. He is in the cartoon Void, where nothing is real. So thank you for joining us from the 2-dimensional sphere, Ben.
Hey, everybody. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
No, they had to stop doing that years ago, Ben. Years ago.
Did they really stop doing Dr. Nick that long ago?
I think almost every offensive character has been.
No, I saw Bumblebee Man pretty recently on like a newer episode.
Oh, you saw a Spanish guy doing the parts, man.
And that's the thing is, like, they have now hired people of those ethnicities to do those voices. Other than Apu, where they're like, we're just going to forget that we ever did that. We're going to put that in the closet, and Hank Azaria is never going to talk about it again.
Okay. So, a thing we do on the show before we get to talking about it is we usually step in the time machine and talk about whatever, like, old-ass Mariah Carey song was the number 1 at the time. But we're going to actually talk about the number 1 song right now. So, Ben, why don't you type into your YouTube on your end, Ella Langley, Choosing Texas, and after we talk about the movie for a second, we'll all listen to it, and then we'll do a jump cut to our feelings. Other songs in the top.
Okay. There's smoking in the bar. I thought they were passing around a Jewel, and I thought that would have been so much funnier.
I Knew It, I Knew You by Taylor Swift. Be Her by Ella Langley. Wow.
Okay. Olivia Rodrigo is there.
Yeah, she's number 4 with Stupid Song, and number 5 with Drop Dead.
And we're not talking about anything else?
I mean, Ariana Grande is number 7 with Hate That I Made You Love Me. It's not my favorite song either. Man I Need by Olivia Dean's top 10. That's a great song. I hear her say wonderful in my head like every couple hours.
Unfortunately, the next song makes me hate her retroactively.
Ella Langley and Morgan Wallen have a combo at number 9.
And I didn't even know that Tame Impala and Jenny made a song together.
But it's called Dracula, and it better have a jetpack.
We really were robbed of a full version of that musical. Like, I would pay good money to reunite those fucking heroes.
That was made based on Reddit, and now they're making a Pool Rooms movie already this year. So you might see that.
Oh, okay, but this actually could lead to a Stefan movie as well.
Do you think? Do I see a world where the guy who bought Paramount to WB could be convinced to make a jetpack Dracula thing just based on Elon Musk showing the meme?
There it is. Right there. It just needs an opening. This song is bad.
This video is 7 minutes long.
It's so generic.
We are not watching the full 7 minutes. I don't think I will actually have to end my own life on stream.
But all of these people are blonde.
But she's not.
I have heard this song.
She's not like other girls. She's brown hair, while everybody else has brown hair but is dyed in blonde.
Wow.
This could be. You could tell me this is Miranda Lambert, Carrie Underwood, or
who owns the Billboard charts? Because, like, I just, if she's the number 1 thing in a legitimate way, why are people saying, hey, she should be the person doing the 250 Pride show?
We
American
are
Pride.
So bad, by the way. We are like 9 minutes into this, and we have already insulted Taylor Swift, and we're looking up who owns Billboard. Guys, we're fucking back.
It's owned by the Penske Media Company that also owns Variety, Rolling Stone, Deadline, Billboard, Hollywood,
The Hollywood Reporter.
and Rolling Stone are all owned by the same, and Variety. So all of Hollywood entertainment news is owned by the same company. Why am I talking like that? So the Swanson Air guy? What's he even talking about?
What? Tucker Carlson?
Tucker Carlson.
Carlson, whose mother left him to join a hippie commune when he was a child, and his father married the heir to the Swanson fortune, which is how Tucker Carlson thinks capitalism saved his life. That's his secret origin.
Holy shit. Okay, so that means him and JD Vance have a very similar origin story.
So similar.
Wow.
But I'm not going to lie. I also would trade JD Vance for a pile of mess. He is very annoying.
We want to specify at this point that we do not endorse the Republican or Democratic parties. All American and Canadian political parties are compromised. We are not a political show, and YouTube should stop saying that we're a political show and denying us being able to promote it, because
I'm going to cut out the stuff I said about JD Vance. Don't worry.
No, leave it.
Yeah, like fuck Hillary Clinton too.
Oh,
Fuck
yeah, absolutely.
Donald Trump. Fuck everybody.
Yeah, so
like all of them equally.
I just did. Like,
Yeah.
they're, yeah.
Let's go, Brandon. As they said.
Okay, so the number one movie right now is Toy Story 5, having successfully fended off Supergirl, which I am sorry to say the incels are right. It's mid. It's mid as hell. There's just nothing to that movie.
I think it's a girl power. Wait, no, it's not. It's absolutely not. They forgot to market it like that.
Also, like, if you take a story and just add sexual assault survival and saving girls from pedos, that doesn't automatically make something girl power. In fact, that's just continuing the cycle of exploitation on women, female characters by forcing them to stay in that same situation. It's like having all black Oscar movies be about slavery. You're forcing them to stay in that state of trying to escape slavery. That's why things like Woman King were really important, because it showed an important dramatic moment in Black history that was separate from slavery.
Yeah.
Or Green Book, the post-slavery period in the United States.
Yeah, the period where there was no racism anymore.
Yeah.
That's right. That's why they had a Green Book.
That's why they had a green book.
Did you see that movie, Jim? Because I think you might have missed the point of that one.
I 100% never watched it, because why would I watch it? It's the Farrelly Brothers.
I didn't either.
Better. I don't know who lost that year, but it was better.
I wonder how many testicle jokes are in that movie.
There's a bunch of testicle jokes in that film.
Oh, God.
I'm just wondering, based on the previous Farrelly Brothers movies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, there's definitely going to be jokes where handicapped people say the R word so that we're okay to laugh at it.
Yeah.
Right? That's...
I would really like to know why exactly that's come back into fashion in 2026, because I hear like Gen Z streamers on just like dropping the R slur all the time, and I'm like, hey, so we actually we stopped doing that a while ago.
I even see people that are like liberal centrists bring it back. Like, progressives aren't saying it, but liberal centrists are like, oh yeah, I'll just do this MAGA thing, sure.
100%. It's also like people calling MAGA people maggots. Like, okay, hi, you are very close to saying faggot, and you know you are.
I did that yesterday. I realized it, and now I'm going to stop because of that information. Thank you.
Yeah.
I actually didn't realize that.
Not a lot of people do, because maggot is already a word, but that's not how they mean it.
Huh.
That is liberal white ladies being like, well, we can say slurs if it's against people that we don't like. No.
Right.
So Green Book, we beat for Best Picture, Black Panther, Vice, and Black Klansman.
So
3 movies that are and The Favorite.
No.
Yorgos Lanthimos' like most accessible film, I would say.
After Poor Things became the closest he's ever made to a mainstream film.
I mean, no, it's not. The Favorite
Like this
definitely was.
goofy bitch.
And also A Star Is Born and Rama. I never saw Rama, actually. I'm bad for that.
I saw A Star Is Born at least 13 times.
Oh, yeah, everyone in the music community thought A Star Is Born was the best thing ever and did not stop doing drugs or drinking. True story.
I thought Lady Gaga was great.
Yes.
Gaga.
Yeah.
Gaga. Miss Gaga.
And now we have Joker 2.
Okay, so one of the funniest things that I've ever seen on the internet is somebody from New York City who went to school with Lady Gaga pre-fame made a Facebook group with her picture on it. It says, Stephanie Germanotta, you will never be famous. And there's 13 members. And somebody found that and clipped it and was like, well, I wonder where this lady is right now. It's honestly, so like we are going to pipe that in, by the way. You'll be able to see what I'm talking about, and it's fucking hilarious.
It's going to be on the screen over yonder.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, so
do we want to do the Cyclops game?
Let's save the Cyclops. Let's save the remake game for the end of the show.
I'm gonna cut
that out. Yeah. The Cyclops game genuinely sounds like a masturbating game, though. Like,
no, I'm referencing the Odyssey. We are going to see the Cyclops, and speaking of the Odyssey, we are going to see Elliot Page in the best shape I've ever seen a man in. Holy fuck, dude.
And not actually playing Achilles like every dumbass on the internet believed. That was such an obvious conservative plant. Like, why
Hundo.
that for a second?
It was that, like, and people trying to gaslight me into thinking that Lupita Nyong'o does not have a face to launch 1,000 ships. Are you high on drugs?
Yeah, there's not one.
No.
Thank you, that's true. Props to you.
Neither are we, actually. For the record, we did not smoke weed before this.
Yeah, we took your hints, and we're not smoking on the show.
I'm drinking coffee.
Okay, speaking of taking hints, let's get to the show. We start with a recap that lets us know very clearly that this episode is going to be about the cable baby.
Cable baby.
All of Madeline Pryor and Scott getting ready to deliver the baby, but there's no mention or acknowledgement of Madeline Pryor. Total Madeline Pryor erasure is happening. It's just like Jean's her mom. She remembers giving birth to the baby. It's her baby.
It's just his voiceover being like, we're not bringing Madeline Pryor back. Just so you know, we're going to get this out of the way now. She's gone.
Like you could have cut to Morgan Freeman being like, that bitch doesn't exist.
Starting things off, really, really, really big fan of the new intro.
I mean, it's pretty much the same intro,
but with new clips. And it's
a couple new clips. There's that awesome clip of the panning from the Terminators up to Apocalypse that I think might be the only clip that's the same in every episode all season. As episode 2 shows us immediately. The only real difference is that I can see Wolverine's got the bone claws. Even though we're seeing him in the brown costume, they have shot to show us that he's got the bone claws. They don't want there to be any confusion. I do really like the silhouette shot in the intro of Magneto pulling all the adamantium out of Logan, which is probably how they should have done it. Like, the silhouette, not the weird like close-ups and juddering that they settled on last time. Just mix up the silhouette if it's too violent. Just show us the implication.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He could have just thrown him off a cliff too, and just like fall into darkness. Classic Disney move.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that we actually discussed this beforehand about Beau DeMayo saying things.
Yeah. So Beau DeMayo started to talk a lot about why he got fired after season 1 aired. And Marvel sent him a cease and desist saying that they're going to take his executive producer status away. And if he says anything more, then they're going to do even worse to him.
And I would like to actually provide an update to this because this morning, a very, very personal interview with Variety launched that he did. And there is a lot of shit that he says.
I did not know this.
Keep your eyes on those credits because I'm not sure he's going to get to keep it.
Yeah. Wonder if they're going to remove him from even the first couple episodes here.
I mean, they've done things like that in the past. So far, his name is still showing up as executive producer, but if he's taken today to go scorched earth on them.
Literally, like he chose this so tactfully. Or not tactfully, no.
It's so crazy that all of Hollywood plays ball with this media company that pretends to be 5 different media companies.
Like, it really...
We can't go one episode without finding out something really disappointing about the fabric of reality.
It really, like, rings true that America is just 8 companies in a trench coat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's very weird. It's strange.
BlackRock all the way down, folks.
Hello.
Okay.
Aid companies in a trench coat, hanging out in the parking lot, flashing everybody.
Of the parking lot of a high school.
And stealing people's kids. Any kids that are bitty. So one of the first things we find out is, because we start with a news update to kind of bring us up a couple months in the past. Trish Tilby is doing the news.
And here's what I missed on Glee.
Yeah, that tells us Glee. That tells us right away that that the humans that were Sentinels that didn't get killed by the X-Men are fine again.
They've got face scars though from it.
This
like lines and like.
I like that she has the face scars left.
Oh yeah. I'm a big fan of this like crazy expo down where they're like, hey, so there's been a lot going on. We're not going to show it to you, but we need to get through it.
At least they're I like that they're not ignoring it. Like the blip just gets ignored every time it isn't useful for a dramatic story. They just pretend it didn't even happen.
Oh my god.
So then we get Bishop and Forge lore dumping everything. So there's no like mystery about where people are, where they've landed. There's no, like, I fully expected a couple episodes to go by before we ever learned anything, but no, Bishop and Forge, we know that Wolverine and Morph and Storm and Cyclops and Jean are in the future, and we know that Xavier, Magneto, Beast, and Rogue and Nightcrawler are in the past. And how do we know this?
Don't worry about it.
It's just like when Doctor Who's assistants magically know the solution to a problem because of the specific fact that they know.
But also, don't worry about it. It's fine. Super easy. Fairly inconvenient.
It's a cartoon.
It is. You're right.
True.
And so, yeah, at that point, Bishop and Forge hop back in different time streams, and we get to see what's going on.
And we get a nice reversal, because this episode is called Days of Past Future, and the original Days of Future Past, it was old Forge explaining to Bishop how time travel works, and here we get Bishop explaining to Forge how time travel works. But still just like leaving before him anyway.
Yeah.
I thought that was a dick move. You should have like waited for Forge to go through successfully then.
Because like, what if he went somewhere else?
But like, he's the first person that says the 1990s in this episode, and it's so fucking funny. I've gone back and found out that it was in the trailer, which I never watched. But man, isn't it ever funny when people say the 1990s?
Genuinely, like the least imposing decade you can think of is the 1990s. And they're treating it like this is a war zone. It's like that actually is one of the only times in like American history that not a lot was going on.
Well, that's why it's the safest.
Yeah.
Like that's why in the Matrix, it's the time that like the Matrix supercomputer chose to keep humans in the loop forever, right? Like the 90s was this peaceful time. There was no Cold War anymore. Ben, it was what you and I kind of grew up in. Like we were one of the first kids to come into consciousness with no big enemy, invisible enemy. And we got to kind of like develop our whole intellects up to this point when we're about 16 or so, that September 11th happens and suddenly there's enemies again. But this time they're always brown, no matter what. Whereas in the past, like the fact that Russians were the enemy meant that it was kind of like invisible. So it was xenophobia more than just racism. Xenophobia is at least like more politically justifiable. Racism is just like, holy shit, you're dumb and you're easily misled, so you are racist.
Yeah, I don't remember the source now, and I wish I did, but there was this really, really intelligent point somewhere online that was like, history basically ended with the fall of the Soviet Union, and capitalism has just basically forced us to stay in a loop of like looking back.
I saw that.
Looking back, appreciating nostalgia and avoiding change and
just going back and looking at the period of development, and without acknowledging that most of that development era of all of culture was in the 60s to 90s, which is when it was important for us to be competing with ideas for other people. Since then, it's just been like a slow trickle of ideas.
The Berlin Wall fell, and so did all of we.
Yes. Yeah. I think when Russia lost, so too did like human development. Because
we didn't land on the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall landed on us.
Oh,
okay.
I do. Okay, so before we go any further, I really, really enjoy that Bishop is like, all right, well, I'm going to go to the past since I assume you want to go to the future and get your girlfriend. It's just like I really like the kind of relationship between them. I like
It feels
them.
very lived in and real. And also, you just like Bishop at this point knows way more about Forge than
That's
like
the
Bishop's
dynamic
become the
is
dad
so
in the
different.
story, which I really, really like.
He's got his dad mustache, and it's good. It's good. It's all good.
Forge immediately goes to 3960 and encounters the weakest Terminators you've ever fucking seen in your life.
Fucking
just blowing holes in it before he even gets saved by Storm and Wolverine. They're just like
Apoca minions. That's what I called them.
These,
Because they're not anything.
Yeah.
Dual wielding hole punchers were pretty sick.
Yeah.
It looked cool. And I guess it's meant to evoke what we see in Time Fugitives, right? There is similar looking Terminators, but those are much more effective. I guess they're 40 years later. But like, was there a period where Apocalypse just stopped making them for a while and just dumbed them down because he killed off all the powerful mutants?
Forge.
Maybe that's possible. Maybe what if Apocalypse at this point has killed off and sequestered all the mutant bloodlines, and that's why they have to pull Nate from the past to the future, because that's the only way there'll be a mutant powerful enough to stop him, because he's figured out and sequestered all the bloodlines.
Boom.
That's it.
Look at that.
So much sense to me.
And now on a much more cellular level, I think it's very funny that Forge almost got himself killed because he couldn't stop sweating. Are you kidding me? You can't wear a fucking bandana, my guy? God damn it. Sorry. Something that I really noticed.
So Logan comes in, like first you hear some wind, and we know that Storm is saving him. And then Logan comes in, and he's wearing the outfit that he actually wore in the comic books right after he gets his adamantium back, which turns him even more primal. And he's in this primal state, but with the bone claws. But he just seems to be normal Wolverine. We get no exposition explaining where he's been. And with so much exposition happening to explain everything else that we're maybe skipping. Like, I fully believe that we probably got a full episode of Cyclops and Jean raising Cable baby in the future, and it must be much more like nuanced and emotional and paced, and it's been replaced by something just kind of like to get us to a more exciting fireworks factory faster, and in a way that's not Bo DeMeo's ideas. Like, we may have just bypassed, like, basically, like, maybe what Bo DeMeo wrote is kind of like exists but is gone.
Yeah.
Just not being shown. It's like just part of the
part of the background
travel, maybe.
Yeah.
Have to get Anthony Sellitti in the room to know, and I don't think he'd ever tell us while the show's happening.
Not after what they're doing to Bo.
Bobo.
Hobo. Question, this is a tangent. Why do Cable, Bishop, and Forge all wear X-Men uniforms? Like, are they part of the X-Men? Or is like X-Force, X-Factor, X-Men, do they all wear the same outfits throughout history? Like, what is up with that?
Well, they all wear X-inspired uniforms. X-Factor actually started out as the original X-Men team reuniting and pretending to be government-sponsored mutant hunters. So that's the angle that we're seeing the new X-Factor take, of being like, hey, we're the government mutants, we're here to save you.
We will get to that.
They were actually pretending to not even be mutants. They were pretending to be mutant hunters, and they would apprehend mutants and then secretly help them.
Okay, witch hunters, let's go.
Yeah. And they kind of had like the all X uniforms. The costumes Cyclops and Jean are actually wearing under the rags that they've got on are based on their X Factor outfits. And that kind of started a tradition of like every X-Men related team will still have X's on it. Now, Bishop was part of the XSE, the Xavier Security Enforcers, which was Xavier's name being used and perturbed against itself, kind of like how Caesar his name is perturbed in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes to represent the opposite of what he actually represented. It's a common thing in politics for us.
We should all just stab Caesar.
Yeah, like how MLK was used to represent centrism for decades when in fact he was like a communist.
The National Socialist German Workers' Party.
Exactly. They just took that name socialism to confuse the socialists. They were never socialists for a second, although every dumb fascist online will hide behind that, saying that Nazis are socialists, not fascists.
The American version of that is being like, well, you know, the Democrats own slaves. Yes, absolutely. But they were very different at that point. There was a little switch that happened after that. Because,
in 1968.
Yeah, in the 60s.
Because of MLK.
Hello.
Because LBJ signed MLK's Civil Rights Act, and in doing so said, we're going to lose the South. And all the dumb racists in the South were eager to jump to the Republican Party for Nixon, so Nixon started pandering towards the racism. And that led to the new Republican Party, which is less about the idea of small government and more about the idea of being racist and pedophile and allowing capitalists to do whatever they want.
And lower taxes for billionaires.
And Democrats, just to be fair and equal source, are just controlled opposition, never actually there to change anything, holding the ratchet strap where it is because they are beholden to the exact same class.
They're the foil.
Benefit from conservatives.
Yeah.
They just waste our time in the same way as COINTELPROs, which are dudes on the internet just lying about whatever they want for your sake.
Yeah.
So
that is a great term. COINTELPRO. That is
hilarious. Thank you. Yeah, I came up with that myself based on COINTELPRO, which was the CIA program of sending black spies and saboteurs into groups like the Black Panther, as shown in the movie Judas and the Black Messiah, disrupting them, wasting their time and resources and energy, and ultimately betraying them.
That's also where the term hitting the streets like crack in the 80s came from, because they sent a lot of crack into predominantly black neighborhoods, and that was also a feature of COINTELPRO.
Sure was.
We're not a political podcast.
We're not a political podcast, guys. We're just trying to talk about X-Men with proper context.
The thing is that X-Men is political. It really is. So you can't get away from it. And also, we're Canadians. We don't have any skin in the game besides the whole world is at the whim of the stupid fucking Americans. Otherwise, we're just saying things.
If you didn't threaten our sovereignty earlier this year, we wouldn't be doing any of this.
You ain't saying anything crazy than anything on the Daily Show either.
For the first time in recorded history, the U.S. both hosted and bombed a country for the World Cup. Iran was in L.A., and they were bombing them at the same time as they were playing.
Wow.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
FIFA!
So let's talk about Ozymandias, a character that you probably didn't realize was even in this episode because they didn't give him a name.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was in The Watchmen.
Oh, that's what his name is.
He is Ozymandias, and he is a living mutant reference to the great poem by Percy Bysshe Shelley, which I will read for the sake of anybody that hasn't heard it or hasn't seen it in a while. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survived, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair," is the most commonly known phrase from this. "Nothing beside remains, around the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, that lone and level sands stretch far away." And
Is that Mary Shelley's bitch-ass husband who wrote that?
it sure is.
Cool.
Yeah, the guy who got credit for writing that for about 100 years and inventing horror.
Mary Shelley's bitch-ass husband, that's his name.
Percy Bitch Shelley. Sorry, Gene. Bad time.
No, that was honestly fucking perfection.
Sorry, you're on the show.
Don't ever apologize. Things come out of my nose all the time. It's a nice change from when they used to go in.
Get
Hey, I made it almost 40 minutes into mentioning the mutants.
Mhm.
So this poem is about how somebody may be the ruler to take over everything because he can't die, because he is one of the externals, right? Uh, and I just find it a really, really like it was great when they started using this character in the mid '90s. Like, what a great way to bring back this poem.
So I'm living in my truth that I am not an observing person. Okay, so on that note, let's talk about how fucking Ozymandias walks in, wakes up Apocalypse out of his weird fucking tanning bed, and is like, hey, I found a child for you to be inside of. And everyone's just like, yeah, that's fine. That's cool.
This is normal.
This is normal. We have this giant techno-organic robot sitting in a fucking LED tanning salon. And now we're gonna put him into a fucking cable baby because
And
he's
then
gonna
like
live
the creepiest four horsemen I've ever seen show up. They're all so upsetting. There's like the geisha girl with the fucking open mouth, the pestilence.
I had taken a sip of what I was drinking when Pestilence took off her fucking mask and started. I was not prepared. Was
Boy
not
Box guy.
prepared.
I was just like they did a great job. I've never seen these four horsemen before. I was just so upset by them. I did like maybe you do always kind of want there to be references, characters that you've seen before when you've seen the horsemen, but these ones were just like
just unsettling.
Yeah.
Like really.
So they
really
did the job. I was like, I wasn't meant to like them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, War looks like they belong in like the Ant Ward, you know?
War, I was like, you look like something out of a Ghibli movie. Like, really, really fucking cool.
Lots of even stronger anime influences this season than last season.
Yeah, speaking of, remember that part when Jubilee did the action and she was like, ding,
yes. Holy shit. I laughed so hard.
I know when you talk about the Jubilee stuff.
Oh, God.
Which is a sentence I never thought I would ever say in my life.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Let's bring up Mother Ascani. Because
what's the deal?
Don't know who she is, and it's bothering me.
Do you guys want to know who she is?
Why does she sleep like a bat?
Mm-hmm.
Why is everything on fire?
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck is this woman? I thought that she was Cable in drag.
Which isn't good.
Because like she's got the Cable phase, but she's also got her like little Jedi braid. And
the butch haircut wasn't helping.
No, not at all. Like the high and tight. I'm like, yo, are you Cable's daughter? Are you Cable's mom? Wait, no, Cable's mom is Jean. What? I did it, didn't I?
Do you guys want to know who Mother Ascani is?
Of course I do.
Mother Ascani's name is Rachel Summers.
Jean's wife.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, in the original Days of Future Past story, Rachel Summers has the power of the Phoenix, and she is the one who's powerful enough to send Kitty Pryde's brain back in time.
I keep making jokes that are actually predictions, and I'm a fan.
Yeah, when you said like, oh, is this like Cable turned a woman? And was like, well, I mean, essentially, it's like in another like if Scott and Jean, like the idea is if Scott and Jean were ever able to just naturally have a kid without some manipulations, that's actually what Rachel is. Nate is always what happens when somebody tries to like manipulate and create.
Wildly wrong.
Yeah. So and I think that's so interesting that like nature produces their offspring as a woman. There's also Hope Summers that's kind of like nature creating their offspring as a woman again.
Yeah.
But then whenever men are creating their offspring, it's always a man. And I wonder if that was ever intentional or if it's just being an accidental thing that happened along the way. But it's interesting. So when she says she's from another timeline, her storm is from a time like the Days of Future Past timeline that no longer exists because Bishop's time changing has fucked around. And the reason he's unstuck in time is because his reality doesn't exist anymore. So he's apparently he's from there. He comes from it later though. He's actually in the comic books from a different alternate future. Like the one that is the next alternate future that's created when Rachel Summers, by sending Kitty Pryde back in time, erases her own existence future, which sends her back in modern day. So like the Excalibur comic book, when it started, Rachel Summers was in it with Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat, and Nightcrawler, and a couple of British people named Captain Britain and Megan.
Captain Britain.
That's worse. Who is Thylock's British brother.
Okay.
We'll get into that.
We actually need to move forward with this. But I do. Okay, so Scott and Jean, Forge and Storm are just like sitting there having a real tender moment. It's getting really nice, and this big fucking gay ass morph shows up and just ruins the moment.
Jamie's allowed to say that.
Yeah,
Sure am.
Yeah, Forge also is questioning the ethics of sending people back in time to change time,
Sure.
which is such a beautiful reversal of the first time we ever see Forge. He is exactly doing that.
100%.
His purpose in the story is sending someone back in time to change it.
Like, oh god, this is where you learn to do that, isn't it?
I mean, actively, yes.
I learned it from watching you.
I learned it from watching you, Dad.
Well, maybe though, right? Because Bishop went back in time and changed the timeline, so maybe his interactions with the X-Men were also supposed to be different. You asked earlier if Forge was ever an X-Men. In the comic books, he was an X-Man. But I think in the cartoon here, he wasn't. He's just only X-Factor only. But he's wearing an X because he's an X-Factor. And Bishop is wearing an X because he is an X-Man now, but also the Xavier security enforcers have the X on their shoulders in the same way. And what was the third character that you asked about why they have an X on them?
Forge, Bishop, Cable.
Oh,
yeah.
I think Bishop has an X now because he basically joined the X-Men at the end of the last season. Like he was
still wearing like the blue and gold and stuff right from the beginning though.
I guess I'm
No. He was wearing the blue and gold only for that run of episodes in last season. He's gone back to his outfit from season 1 through 4.
Well, that's what I mean. Like in the first season, I'm sure he was wearing like blue, gold, and he had a red bandana or something.
Yeah, Cable does wear his X-Men outfit when he's with the X-Men there, when he kind of joins them at the end to take on Bastion. Everyone wears different outfits in that period, right? Ro goes back to her original 80s outfit. Wolverine goes back to his 80s outfit. Cyclops is wearing his 70s outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's just wearing a different outfit from normal. Jean's wearing her Marvel girl. I think it's just costume changes for the sake of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, hey, this is going to look different. And I'm pretty sure that the whole X-Men team is going to wind up looking different in almost every episode of this season.
Yeah. Just like
Can't wait for Jean Grey in full gray denim. I think that would be great.
Why not?
I'm here for it.
She could make it work.
Yeah, so Cyclops and Jean are like, listen, we know what's supposed to happen. We actively don't care.
Yeah, we actually see Cyclops and Jean act differently for the first time maybe ever in their entire runs, but I feel like it's earned. Like, yeah, this love of their son is what would make them act more reckless. They did just like survive dying and not realize why, and everything is crazy. So I feel like it's really believable that they make this crazy choice to go and save their son. And of course, it's also believable that it's the wrong choice entirely.
I was just going to say,
as soon as they're away from Mother Ascani, they're not safe.
14 feet out of line and they get fucking sucked up by those weird Apoca-minions. Apoca-minions. Magnet Train?
Yeah, like we kind of like then all the X-Men realize that they're gone, like the Wolverine and Storm and Forge in them. And Rachel's like, okay, it's okay, I have a plan. We're going to supercharge the sun and use the power of the sun to catch up to them.
Hey, Storm, would you mind doing me a favor?
And she drops the hint that she's from another timeline, which is really cool. Also, like you mentioned the fire stuff before. Did you see what was going on in her eye?
No. Yeah, like her eyes went all fiery.
Her eyes were Phoenix.
Oh my god, that makes so much more fucking sense. Okay.
So that's why she has the power to pull them through time, while at the same time sending their homies to a different part of time that's a full 6,000 years away from where she is. 7,000 years.
And I believe this is when we get the frankly very surprising reveal that Scotty's like, yeah, I'm the one who brought you, by the way. Just so you all know.
Just so casually dropped, as casually as in the Family Guy Empire Strikes Back when the guy says, I'm not Yoda. Yeah, I'm Yoda.
Straight up. Like, it's very much that energy. Like, oh, yes, well, I'm the one who brought you here. Anyways, let's move on.
Which really goes with my theory that I think this episode is like 4 episodes condensed, perhaps.
Yep.
Or a few, just like more time was going to be spent here. And they're just crushing it down and trying to get us to the next thing that they know will be satisfying. which ironic, I think really does make this less satisfying. At this point, I was starting to get a little frustrated with this episode. Just kind of like, okay, they're on a train now. I get some repeated animation while they go through the train loops.
I do, yeah, but all of a sudden, they're like, hey, remember that secret that we were supposed to keep? We're actually not going to tell him anyways.
So Cyclops and Jean tell Cable Baby that he's their Cable Baby.
Yeah.
And this is changing the timeline again, right? Because Cable never knew they were his parents before. Now he's going to know. And we even go, like, we're going to do a time jump in a scene or two later to Cable remembering all of this. So now the Cable in the past has always known that Cyclops and Jean were his parents.
Completely changing a lot of details.
I have questions and I don't think I'm ever going to get the answers.
No. Yeah. There's like that. I think that's a piece of retcon that we're never going to talk about again.
Mo DeMeo, if you're listening or watching and you want to join and explain, please come on.
Come on over.
We'll take you. It's not like we're ever going to be accepted by the political establishment at this point.
And then after fucking Cable Baby finds out who he is, all of a sudden go off Queen.
Yeah,
Jesus
remember
Christ.
Being a baby, which is great because he's the Cable Baby.
He's the Cable Baby.
And also great is that his powers are so strong that he can still use them while wearing the inhibitor collar. This may be because they're still using a 2,000-year-old design for inhibitor collars. But I just think it's meant to be cool, and it is.
And then
it looks the same so that you understand what it is.
Then he just pops out and he's like, click, click. Okay, you two are free now. Let's go.
But not.
Well, yeah, because Jean is getting him to use.
Right. Holy shit.
Jean is getting him to use the virus against the technology. Right? Like he's pushing it through his arm and into his face and into his neck and like making the stuff happen. It was cool.
And all of a sudden his eye starts blinking out.
Yeah. It's rad.
Really, really, really
and then
fucking cool.
Storm literally ignites the sun.
That was
above the clouds and conjures the winds of the sun. And we cut to the sun and we see the activity picking up on the sun.
Supernova pornography. All capital.
It was a great scene.
9 exclamation points.
I kind of feel like, why does she have to be so elegiac and poetic every time she conjures the elements? Like, please, Mr. Sun, if you could please grace us with your lovely presence and bring it into our universe because it's all so beautiful and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, but you can just use your powers. You can just use your powers.
This brings me to a point that we're going to get into in the next episode where like there's a small subset of characters that speak like they are in the Bible. Like they are biblical people and not the ones that you're thinking of.
Magneto is definitely one of these people.
Well, we haven't even got to him yet.
We haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, no, I have thoughts. I have thoughts.
I'm sure people are watching this. A lot of you have seen episode 3 already.
We haven't.
Well, we're going to get to that, and we're going to pop out an episode for you guys this weekend. We just really wanted to get through these 2 episodes because it's a lot of work to do all this research and stuff, and we got to beat the algorithm.
And like, yeah, I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning to watch these hoes.
I'm 100%. Yeah, I also was very late doing it. We come back and Morph is turned into Thor. And at first you're just like, oh, holy shit, Thor is here. And then you remember, oh, right, Thor is here because we have Morph, just like Morph played Cyclops. And Psylocke and a couple other people.
I didn't even notice it on my first viewing. It was such a quick little bing.
I thought that was 2 of the Avengers in some office in the government somewhere because it was Iron Man and Thor, wasn't it?
No, Morph. You could see Thor turning back into Morph.
Oh, well, then why was the other Avenger there?
Unclear.
I think that's a robot that he was blowing up. Is there robots? Robots.
When they're all fighting and that theme comes in, it's just, that is what I'm here for. That is what I'm here for.
Oh, yeah, rocks
that
theme comes in.
Yeah, oh my god.
A spiral spinny shot. They must have a spiral spinning team just like back in the day. They had an out of focus team.
Yeah. And then
Rachel crashes the train with everybody on it and doesn't give anybody any fucking warning. It's just like, yeah, my mom's going to be able to save everyone. Like, this is cool. She doesn't know she's my mom. I'm hiding from her the thing that she thought he was hiding from.
Yeah, she's
my brother from another timeline.
She's definitely a Summers.
She's a brother from another mother.
She's definitely a Summers, all right. Just absolute keeping everything close to the vest until she almost kills someone.
It's so funny that he is Day Spring and comes from the Summers. Yeah. You're seeing him realize the pun, then realize the pun in real time.
Cool.
Yeah. But my thinking is, if Rachel Summers has the power of the Phoenix and has this whole time, why doesn't she just like,
Hey, shut up.
There's 2 phoenixes, it turns out. Moving on.
snatch out of Phoenix? It's something that I've known for decades, because like this whole thing with Cyclops and Phoenix being in the future raising their son is from a comic book called The Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix, where Rachel Summers is the mother of Scanny. Like this is the future version of the one that we'd seen in the 80s in Excalibur and the X-Men. And it never really clued into me until I was watching this. They're like, damn, she is way too powerful for this. And I can't help but think back to the X-Men Apocalypse movie, which is terrible, but it ends with Phoenix just being so powerful she kills Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like you kind of can't and shouldn't have Phoenix and Apocalypse being the same story, but they've been in the same story for decades. And like there's just something about cinema that makes it easier to put together plot holes than comic books, I feel. Mm-hmm. And it really stood out to me here watching this. You have a thought, Ben?
Cinema, like the, meme.
May I make fun of Apocalypse now?
You can.
Okay, so one of the funniest lines in this entire thing is Apocalypse being like, I'm going back. And then it fucking pans in. It's like, to the
1990s.
It's
incredible. It's so much funnier than when Bishop did it, too.
You don't know this, but that is one of the funniest things you'll ever say.
Yeah, it just sounds so contrived and silly. Like everything is like fucking full on comic book Shakespeare, and then the 1990s. And I'm like, oh, this feels like I'm watching Suburban Commando. And Hulk Hogan, this clueless alien from another race, is being chased across space by the Undertaker, accidentally destroys somebody's hot rod or whatever. And these 4 big guys are like, walk up to him and he's like, oh, you're gonna fight me? And he's like, no, Mike, it's the 90s. We're gonna sue you. Someone think like, oh, is Apocalypse gonna like go back to the 90s and sue them to that?
Amazing. And then all of a sudden we get to Nathan getting Siri installed in his arm.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. They're like, we're gonna give you a little bit of an assistant. She's gonna immediately tell you to get your family the fuck out of here.
And also it's Apocalypse's ship.
Yeah.
From the future telling him like, oh, I'm gonna dial it into you. So the thing that we've been seeing him talk to the whole time turns out to have been the ship that we also encountered in that Beast Focus episode, Obsession, way back. We get some cool visual references to Exception. There's this listing on Cable's notes of all of Apocalypse's appearances. It says 1993, Stonehenge and Paris, France, which are both from the Apocalypse. And then the FOH headquarters thing from later in the year from Time Fugitives. 1984, he shows up in New York City. That's Obsession. And then it cuts to 1996. And we got the South America reference. And we're talking about Fifth Horseman now, that poorly animated but really important episode. And it makes me think like, okay, so this Cable definitely has not experienced Beyond Good and Evil. We know that Jean and Scott and the Cyclops and them, but this Apocalypse probably hasn't either.
No.
Are there 2 Apocalypses running around at some point?
I believe they would be.
Is that going to get lost in the sauce, or are we at some point going to see 2 Apocalypses working together? Wouldn't that be an amazing reveal at some point on a cliffhanger later in the season? It's like, oh, and he does the "because I told him to" line, which is somebody's favorite.
Apocalypse 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, at this point, I want to shout out
Apocalypses, like 2 things crossing,
Okay. That's actually, you know what? I'm going to give you that one. That's good. I like that.
That is really good. At this point, I want to shout out our biggest fan, Mike B. We see you. We appreciate you. Thanks for being the first comment every week. You are the wind beneath our wings, buddy.
We do this for you.
It's true. Everything we do. I can do it for Mike B.
Now he's going to stop watching.
And now we get probably my favorite little fucking reveal in the whole thing when we get Archangel and Psylocke finally in real time.
Archangel and Psylocke, the world's least pronounceable couple. But it's really nice to fucking see them both.
I just call him Archie.
the most underrated characters. I like that he's back to his like magenta
Yeah.
outfit, not the less cool Angel Halo outfit that he was wearing in Beyond Good and Evil. Psylocke looks really cool. She's much more obviously Asian in the face, which is great
because she is voiced by a Japanese woman.
A Japanese woman with a British accent. So we're getting all of the elements of Psylocke. Who knows if we'll ever get all of her backstory? I think it'd be safer to just skate around it and keep her where she is. But who knows? It's definitely just really cool to see them come in at the end.
I'm going to give this one a solid 9 out of 10 because I know what they can do. I know what they're capable of. And I know it can get better than this. And I'm sure it will.
Okay. What do you think, Ben?
7.6.
Not 6.
Pretty good. What?
6, 7. Sorry.
I the first time I watched this through, I actually did feel like it was a 6. Like I was quite disappointed by all of the like just tons of talking and not a lot of member berries for things that really do drive me. I feel like the all purple aesthetic of the future didn't really make sense. At first, when they showed up in the future, it was purple. I was like, okay, this is like Sunset or Twilight or something. But it just stayed purple the whole way through. So visually, it was kind of a bit dull for me. I don't know. Second viewing, I did really appreciate all the work that was being done and where we were getting. So I land on a 7. But I was definitely let down by this as a premiere. I'm going to be real.
That's fair. That's fair. I am much more easily entertained.
That's good.
And I thought it was great. But like I said, I know they can do better because they have. And I'm really well again.
Episode 1 of season 2 was written by Brian Ford Sullivan, new to the crew, and directed by Emi Yonemura. Episode 2, which we're going to jump to now, also came out July 1, 2026. Written by Anthony Sellitti and Mariah Wilson. And again, directed by Emi Yonemura.
I didn't realize that was going to happen.
We'll talk about that next episode. Yeah.
Sorry, I just...
Yeah, it's cool. So episode 2 is called A Force to be Reckoned With, which is actually the name of the first trade paperback collecting the first few issues of the X-Force comic book, which was launched by Fabian Nicieza writing and Rob Liefeld drawing in the early 90s. They had been working on the New Mutants team, which was like the original X-Men spinoff we mentioned in the real X-Men 97 episode of X-Men 92. How's that?
I was just going to say, I was like, if anybody can decipher that, I will give you $1.
It did make sense.
It did. That's the crazy thing.
Okay. This run of comics is when Rob Liefeld created both Cable and Deadpool. And also this is when Domino and Warpath joined the team. Sunspot had been on the team going back to the beginning. So it's cool that he's on this version of X-Force because him and Cable are the only real like members. X-Force comic did start out as Cable's team with the New Mutants, but it's been brought back throughout the decades as kind of like their Black Ops team. Cyclops would create a separate Black Ops team to go do like the dealing with things like Apocalypse and Sinister that he didn't want the main team dealing with publicly.
The Mutant CIA.
Yeah. So like people like Wolverine, Archangel, Psylocke, Gambit, Deadpool go off and just like wipe out whoever. And that was like the more mature readers, line of comics for like the 2000s or so is about when I stopped reading. But there's lots of potential with X-Force. We've seen X-Force in the movie Deadpool 2. That's the team that he puts together. Using mostly people that have been in X-Force throughout the comics. There's been many versions of X-Force. There's even a completely different one called that became Ecstatics right away because it was so different from everything else because they were an X-Men team with a reality TV show. So their whole thing was about them being celebrities.
Oh.
It was really, really good.
Okay.
Peter Milligan wrote it. He's the guy who invented, I think, milk and cheese. That was Evan Dorkin. Peter Milligan is like...
Milk and cheese are like foundational things.
Yeah. Peter Milligan
did huge evolution.
That was a different guy. But Peter Milligan was from that era of indie stuff. I know that you're just making a joke about milk and cheese as the groceries items, but milk and cheese is not a comic book. I was reading that and Too Much Coffee Man a lot back in the mid-90s. I was a big fan of Too Much Coffee Man.
I was really hoping that just wouldn't go acknowledged, and it would just me and Ben having a nice little laugh together.
I know the things that you say about me.
Okay, so should we get into?
Yeah, we
this
might as well start
force to be
talking about
reckoned
the
with?
actual episode here. So we open with a bunch of young mutants trying to get to Xavier's. I think most of them are characters from Generation X, like the mid-90s team that came out after X-Force.
Yeah, I didn't know any of these.
Yeah, like the character that changes from being this red spiky thing to a girl that's Penance. And I think her sister M is included in this group, just like the brown skin girl. The main one that I know for sure is the pink-haired guy with the Phoenix t-shirt is Quentin Quire, who is like an Omega level telepath that will grow up to be a huge problem. He becomes a big bad himself. And he's wearing a Phoenix t-shirt because he will eventually be another
Phoenix.
host of the Phoenix, because the Phoenix came back about 10, 15 years ago and possessed a bunch of people. Cyclops, the Cuckoo sisters, who will also show up later in this episode.
Oh, are those
Fire.
the blonde girls that okay, cool.
And they're all clones of the White Queen, Emma Frost.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
like her.
Let's get into it because I have a lot more to say about this
Oh
one.
yeah, we'll get into them with the Emma Frost of it all.
The Diamond Dog herself.
Yeah. So they get perhaps Cecilia, Reyes, and Sync are some other members of this group. If anybody has ideas about who they are, please throw them in the comments when you give us a like and a follow.
Only after that.
They get to Xavier's mansion, which has finally stayed ruined for once, which is nice.
Well, yeah, because all the people who usually do the building are fucking back and forward in time. All their contractors are missing.
And then the government team X Factor shows up without Quicksilver this time. And they say, don't worry, we're definitely the good guys. And I kind of feel like this was the original opening to the season. I feel like this episode might have been the original pilot, and we were going to ignore the time travelers at first.
Yeah, I really liked the X Factor opening sequence. That was cool. Or X Force, which was it? X Force? Yeah.
We'll get to that in a little bit. We haven't gotten there quite in the thing. We see, as they're loading in, we see a news report explaining Trish Tilby again, explaining to us why X Factor is the good guy. This is kind of the public persona of the original X Factor team.
Trish Tilby is, of course, the Perd Hapley of this universe.
100%. The fact that I want Perd Hapley to play Trish Tilby in a movie.
Hello. Full drag.
Yeah, we also see Chamber, a really popular character from Generation X, on the TV screen being like loaded in with a bunch of other mutants and carted off. And it's like, okay, mutants are capturing these people, and we've seen them before as good guys, but
that's crazy. The good guys are rounding people up and putting them in cages.
There's historically bad precedent for this, right? Feels a little icy.
Yeah.
I don't
think that would ever happen.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't seem like anything that would happen.
No, not in North America. It's a fascism-free zone. Fascism isn't how we were established as a colony at all.
So then...
No, we defeated fascism back in the 1940s.
Yes.
It's
never came back. I am a big fan of them immediately cutting to Jubilee and Sunspot being like, well, everything is going really poorly out here. We're playing video games. And Sunspot is like,
from the Nintendo episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
Some good references to that.
Sunspot's a little hustler out there. He's like, I'm buying dinner, SA. Come on.
Yeah.
I the most fun he's ever been, honestly. Sunspot's usually a dramatic character in the comic books, but this is a really fun take on him.
Not to mention, Jubilee is a completely formed character now. Like,
this episode's Jubilee is the best Jubilee that's ever existed by a fucking mile.
God.
Like,
she also looks like she's like 30 years old for some reason. All of a sudden,
yo, got bangs.
That's the best.
That must be it.
She's also wearing her Generation X outfit, so like the red armor underneath the Jubilee code is also just like a more impressive look. And she's just talking and acting like a full-grown woman because there's woman writing her this time. Right? This Mariah Wilson woman who was a story editor on the previous season, and she's bringing her voice in. I feel like this is one of the things that came with like, and we were still letting Jubilee down, right? We talked about how Motendo basically repeats what happens to her in Jubilee's Fairy Tale Theater, where she's just like isolated and left alone. So this puts her fucking front and center. She's never been in X-Force to my knowledge. Actually, no, she probably joined it after she became a vampire. Because remember, she became a vampire.
Yeah.
I read this random X-Men comic book from the eras that I didn't read. And at one point, they're fighting these bad guys, and Jubilee just bites one. She's like, it's not human. And they're like, okay, we can kill these guys. It was a crazy thing, just boom, out of nowhere. This fight between the X-Men and Martha.
And then Cable Baby shows up, but dressed in the old Captain America bulletproof
Yeah, you were
disguise.
saying that he looks like he has Captain America vibes, and it's because he's wearing the hat pulled over his face, which is how every character in the MCU ever disguises themselves from anything.
The universal
so that's all it
symbol
takes to be disguised. You can have a hat and maybe a beard.
Excuse me, sir. Oh, there he is. Hi, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is
we get a whole bunch of references to stuff. Like we get the reference, we see Cable's files again, and we see photos from the Fifth Horseman episode. So that's important. That really matters. They know everything that happened there.
also
And
notably
that's why he's gone to Jubilee, because she is the last person still in this timeline that has encountered Apocalypse.
Yep.
We are also shown that he's going to go after War, the original War from season 1 from Archangel's cohort of Horsemen.
what is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
Well, the mop tops are good for absolutely nothing. I actually had a skateboard cut back in the day, but we called it skateboard cut. Now it's just a mop top.
I call it a bowl cut.
Yeah, that works too.
I call him bowl cut throughout this entire thing.
I think he gets called bowl cut in the episode.
Oh, great. Bowl cut talks like he's in the Bible.
Yeah, he's another one of those characters. And you really wonder, like, how is this guy existing in the world? He still looks exactly the same. He's the only character that doesn't have a new and updated costume.
Bright green.
It's like, okay, where are you going to go? You're going to get seen.
Shrek. He's going to go live with Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
He is Shrek.
He's going to kill me at some point. It's going to happen on screen,
With
and
the
you can
slender
place bets on it on Polymarket or Kalshi.
right up his ass. So then we get the X-Force intro, which is fucking awesome. We've seen them play with the intro and do little variations, but here we get a completely new version of it with the X-Force cast of Cable Baby, Sunspot, Jubilee, Psylocke, and Archangel, and the villains he's fighting are Apocalypse and his horsemen and the hunters from the Fifth Horseman episode again. And there's just all these really cool different versions of the same shots, but with this crew that just feels really cool. And right away I noticed, hey, this crew's got 2 Asian women on it, and it's not a thing.
Yeah.
It never gets brought up. There's never any bonding about it. There's never any pandering to it. It's just a thing. And I thought that was fucking awesome.
If this was a Marvel film, those two would reach out to Pestilence and be like, you're our girl.
Yeah, and there'd be like a CoQ in the background every time Psylocke was talking, and there would be a xylophone whenever Jubilee was talking.
Fucking Wii sports ass music. Yeah, Mutant Mardi Gras. Let's fucking go.
Well, but before we should mention that they actually do a different audio recording for the theme song. It's electric guitar, maybe for the first time ever, because it's always been synths simulating an electric guitar. And maybe this was synths again, but it felt to me just like in a real way that this was somebody wailing on guitar having played out a version for it.
Oh yes.
I might be wrong, but it just had that vibe. And it just felt like, okay, we're in an edgier universe for this episode. And like right away, we've got this really cool Mardi Gras style opening. They're in the tropics somewhere. Did anybody clock where they are?
Brazil.
They
say Rio de Janeiro.
Sao Paulo, that's where.
Sao Paulo. Yeah.
Even better.
I think. Yeah.
I believe so. It's it's in Brazil. I know that. And
There's palm trees everywhere.
I love the like slow pan to fucking Psylocke with her hot girl stance, just like watching everything.
I look in this episode is so
Good
awesome.
Lord.
Just like a badass.
That was like Cable's perspective, right? He's like, I'm going to zoom in over here.
Yeah.
What's up?
I'm going to look at this Thickums Asian woman.
Her boyfriend's not around, so this is my time.
Speaking of her boyfriend.
Yeah, so they do, like, they plan this ruse. Jubilee is among the crowd. Her and Roberto are making out. And then they do manage to capture War. But the really important thing is after they interrogate War, and then Cable Baby hands him his gun to Archangel and is like, you should kill him. Jubilee's like, no, we really fucking shouldn't kill this guy.
We don't do this. This isn't who we are.
And then we just hear the gun go off.
I wasn't...
Normally, this is War they're killing. Like, that's good.
That's good. That's not something you should jump away from.
I'm with Gable on this one.
It really brings up that Archangel managed to get saved, and Archangel himself is like, well, Rogue did that, and Rogue's gone.
Rogue's the fuck out of here right now.
We shouldn't risk keeping this guy up for any amount of time because Rogue might never come back, and I don't know any other way. So Archangel's kind of admitting in that moment that he personally wasn't strong enough to ever beat Apocalypse, and that I think that's part of his anger at himself. There's so much good character stuff in this. And even though, like, yes, it's war, they're murdering war, it's the most okay person to do this to, it is like a real crossing of the line, right? Like, they've crossed a Rubicon into becoming a different kind of X-Men group. The show has crossed a Rubicon into being a more mature kind of show. It's been dilly-dallying around that. It's been tiptoeing, especially with, like, sexual stuff with Morph. But this is, like, we are now in a show for grown-ups.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't show your kid this.
Yeah. The opening 2 episodes feature a straight-up murder. And
murdered by a founding member of the X-Men. And
now, do I get to talk about the love of my life?
Yeah. War's hints lead to Jubilee figuring out that he is referencing the White Queen, because she mentions diamonds. And the White Queen turns into diamonds. The floor is yours.
Emma Frost, by the way, is my favorite X-Men in the canon. She's my favorite character. I think she is hilarious. She genuinely does not care about anybody else other than herself. She is so fucking cunt. She walks into every room dripping in diamonds and wearing a fur coat. She is who I want to be when I grow up. I would love to be Emma Frost. The telepathy, also a pretty good thing, but it's mostly serving absolute dripping cunt.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't what I meant to say, but that was
January Jones, I guess.
I've seen January Jones put in amazing performances
in
Mad Men and The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada.
She's fantastic.
And American
I liked her on Last Man on Earth, too.
She was well cast as the White Queen. I think she looked the part, and they just kind of stopped there. And there's just so many people that could do an amazing Emma Frost, and I think it's maybe the best acting role in the X-Men canon. So, like, let's give it to somebody really, really powerful next round. Let's give it to, like, Sophie Thatcher.
Yes!
Or somebody that's really going to, like,
Sophie Thatcher, absolutely.
What about Lady Gaga?
So Emma Frost comes in, absolutely fucking dripping to the nine.
Technically, X-Force comes into her space.
I guess, yeah.
They're also dripping. Like, they're well dressed.
They're dripped out. She is sitting there like, okay, I have my 2 assistants.
Yeah, she's brought 2 twinks in, clearly for some kind of 3-way.
Yeah, she is 100% about to fucking peg those boys. And, and so Emma's like, okay, you know what? I'll help. I'll give you a little bit. But remember, I do this for a profit. So what are you going to give me? Which is fair. She's not part of their little group.
What did they even offer her? Because
they don't.
Yeah.
Pussy.
Oh, well.
So then Emma leads them somewhere. I forget where they actually go.
They go into some fucking warehouse or something.
And X Factor's waiting for them because she's Emma Frost and she's fucking sold them out. Which is great because we get this really fun fight with X Factor. Fights between X Factor and other teams are always good.
Okay, so
always a fun trope.
Here's what I wanted to say. X Factor versus X-Force is very much, it's a conversation between shitlibs and leftists. You're sitting there like, we want to keep the status quo. We are the good guys. And the other guys are like, I don't care if you think you're the good guys. I'm going to do good.
Yeah.
And it's literally like leftism versus shitlibbery.
And Polaris has this incredible line that sums up the neoliberal perspective on justice. It's not about good and bad. It's about authority, and you don't have any.
Yeah. I'm the big boss here. I'm Polaris, and that led me to one of my favorite notes I've ever taken, which is just all capitals, Polaris, you raggedy bitch.
Remember when there was a rumor that this was going to be Neve Campbell? I kind of feel like somebody might have heard it and thought, oh, that's Neve Campbell, because she does sound quite like Neve Campbell.
Oh, yeah. It's not, for the record. We did look that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Great other actress doing a great job.
Knockoff Cyclops.
what's her name actually? Let's credit properly the woman playing Polaris here.
Polaris. Carolina?
Carolyn Ravassa does a
Carolina.
really good job. Carolina Ravassa does a really good job. Now we should also mention that Emma Frost is being played by a new voice actor, Zara Faisal, who does a great job. She's taking over from Martha Marion, who did the voices of Emma and Moira McTaggart.
Moira McTaggart.
First season.
Okay, so she looks like a Moira.
She definitely has Moira eyes.
Yeah, that might be Moira McTaggart IRL.
Not sure why she didn't return to play Emma Frost in this season. Maybe she's still doing Moira and they wanted to differentiate it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Emma, but she hasn't done anything for 2 years. She played RC in Transformers Earthspark, which is a really poorly received Transformers show. That might be the end of that show on TV for a couple years until Paramount gets some movies out and wants to release a TV show to hype up the movies, because David Ellison is convinced that Transformers will still be a big hit. And I think they can make the best Transformers movie ever and it'll make half as much money as Bumblebee, because that era is just
gone. Michael Bay is no longer invited to the big kids table.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed like X Factor showing up. They're like, we are here to save democracy. We've got these cages over here to contain it. We need to contain all the democracy in cages.
And then Jubilee calls Havoc knockoff Cyclops, which is so vicious. We have never even acknowledged that Havoc is Cyclops' brother, but they're just like.
And then there was this exchange between Polaris and Jubilee, where Jubilee's kind of going on a monologue, and she's like, do you think Xavier would be proud of you? Do you think he would be proud of me? And actually, I do think Xavier would be proud of Polaris, and that's not a good thing. That's
because he's
completely
shit, right?
antithetical to the actual X-Force.
It does the trick though, because she does help Jubilee escape. And
you did one good thing.
Yeah. Although she uses her magnetism powers, so I think anyone would be able to figure out that she's like, oh yes, this camera has been disabled by a magnetic force. Things would be just.
It's weird.
She does play dumb, in a way that's like, you know that I did this and you're not going to do anything.
Right,
it, though. So it's fine.
Havoc very much knew exactly who did it. And I think Val is like, I know, but I'm not going to say anything. But the look on Havoc's face when he's walking by Polaris is, he knows. He knows exactly who did it.
This is great there. She's like, oh, where's Jubilee? What happened?
Yeah, she's funny. I really like that. It's cool that Polaris is recognized as the sixth X person, an original member of the team. Although we still haven't mentioned that Angel is an original member of the team, which is interesting because we've shown it in flashbacks. But it's funny that Polaris is an early member of the team, but Havoc isn't, because they met when they joined the X-Men around the same time, about the late 60s, 67, 68 is when they both show up.
What a crazy collection of names we're about to go through.
Yeah. So we've got some Gen X people like Jubilee and Chamber in this prison, but a lot of them are from the Academy X era, which is the late 2000s class of New Young Mutants. So we have Dust. So we saw in the last season, a mutant with the same powers as Ozymandias of turning into sand and flying away. But that doesn't help her here because she's got the collar on. We've also got Artie, who's Leech's best friend from the Morlocks in the 2000s. We got the Cuckoos, the White Queen clones, only 3 of them. Originally, it starts out with 5 in the comics. And then we've got Anole.
Wait, no, that cannot be how it's pronounced.
Anole pronounced.
Anole? Anola?
It's he's named after a lizard because he's a lizard type.
Anole lizard. I think it's Anole.
I was just pronouncing Anole.
Anule.
I don't think that's Anole.
Anole, yeah. But it's not anal.
Anyway,
it's not.
An American lizard with a throat fan. So,
Slay.
Yeah.
Like that fan, queen.
And then we've also got Glob, who is the pink gelatinous dude with a visible skeleton and eyes.
Glob
Herman.
Shadow, all of that,
I think when people say Glob Shadow, they see Glob in their minds, honestly. It's it's just whatever's happening there. It's a mutant.
And then
we get the needle drop.
The needle drop. when Veruca Salt came in, like I saw the headphones going on and I knew it was going to be good. I didn't know it was going to be Veruca Salt.
Yeah, like such a perfect representation of everything that was going on. I fucking love Veruca Salt.
Yeah.
Way back in the day, especially Volcano Girls is the best.
Riot Girl stuff.
The OG fucking Riot Girl tune.
And
it's really cool because Jubilee's like, we've talked about how she built up her powers and they were getting stronger, but this is the first time she's got weaponized fucking powers.
Weaponized fucking
everyone's ass, distractions, and then following up with more forceful light.
It's really fucking impressive. You're right. It really was Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, that sort. Yes.
Down to the clouds of smoke. Like, I think they showed the animators like, hey, we want this to look and feel like these Harley Quinn action sequences from Birds of Prey, and also the one from Suicide Squad 2021, which if no one's ever seen it, is actually very good. As good as Suicide Squad 2016 is that.
I did want to bring up one more thing where they're like, they're talking to Cable's like, we have some cargo. And Cable's, or somebody's worried about the children, and Cable's like, kids are tougher than you think. And it's like, oh yeah, you would know that, wouldn't you? You have a very tough child.
Yeah. Was like convinced by your sister from another reality that you were the chosen one who had to destroy everybody because there was just no other good mutant stock left because the human race had already fucking lost by the time you showed up at all.
Source, trust me.
I think that Rachel Summers is also the reason that Cable Baby was separated from Bishop.
Oh,
way back in that too. Like she
definitely snuck him away.
Knowing that it happens, she has to then do it.
Like, exactly.
I think that's also why she can't kill Xavier because she's Apocalypse, because she knows already the events of Beyond Good and Evil or whatever. Like, I think that we will be introduced to Rachel Summers in the next season.
Oh, I see that.
Young Rachel Summers, and she will wind up having to go to the future and do all of this shit that she knows it happens. She'll have to go along with a lot of suffering because it's already happened. She doesn't want to fuck the time stream up.
I almost think that might.
If I do this,
Okay. I almost think that it might be the cliffhanger for this season. Like, I think she's gonna be in the last scene. We're gonna figure out who she is, and that's gonna be the kind of trajectory for the next season.
That'd be like the final episode reveal.
What they did with the time travel for this one, I think they're gonna try to emulate it again, but do basically leave you wanting more. More.
They've already given us one less episode, so I know I'm gonna be wanting more. Of course.
And then all of a sudden, we're back with the Siri arm.
Yeah, and we segue back, we go from 9/10 of the way through this episode to the point 9/10 of the way through the previous episode. It's all being Cable remembering things and coming back and floating in and out of his memory. And we see again a different angle of the shot of Cable reforming his arm using the computer that he's built to do it. And his family is like, oh, we really want time with you. And he says, nah, all of this is recorded. You have to go.
Get out.
Yeah.
We have some shit to do. You have some shit to do. Different times.
Yeah. I just was so brought in by this. As disappointed as I was in the first episode, this one brought me right back.
Yeah.
And I give it a 9. I really loved this episode.
I kept it at a 9. I actually, now that we're talking about it, I think I retroactively might go back and give the other one an 8 because I do want to give this one a 9.
Right.
Because this deserves the 9.
But it's clearly not a climactical thing in any way either. It's just,
exactly.
This is exposition done right. This is
self-contained
character development done right.
Yeah. So 9 out of 10 for me, 100%. I'm so excited for the rest of this fucking season.
I'm with you. 9. It's great.
Nah. Killer. Okay. So we'll close up with, we're going to resurrect one of our favorite things from the Parallax Review, which is taking the year off while we focus on launching the Ghost Pants show after this. So we're going to do a mini version of the remake game where instead of casting a whole thing, we know that there is an X-Men movie coming out in about 2 years' time that will have a young cast rebooting the X-Men. So we want to, per every episode, we're going to suggest who should play a new character. I think that it is obvious that Wolverine should just be played by Hugh Jackman until he is 90.
100%.
Him being older and out of shape is
it's actually fine.
Yeah, it's great. He should just stay the same guy. Bendy, yeah, he should be old man.
Yeah.
Or we finally get to comic appropriate casting and cast Daniel Radcliffe because he is canonically 5'3".
Okay, that's not the game we're playing, but you're right.
Yes,
You are right. He will be
but
fine.
let's go forward.
So yeah. We're gonna do Cyclops today, though. We've each thought up a different person to play Cyclops.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think should play Cyclops, man?
I pondered this for a few minutes, and I came up with Aaron Taylor Johnson.
DC.
Oh. He's got the little chin.
Is a good person for the role.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
I think like the Quicksilver of it all might make it difficult, but I mean, never mind because they brought in Evan Peters into WandaVision, so they can do whatever they want.
Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing right already, fucking Doctor Doom. So
yeah, and anything's allowed. You're right.
There are no rules. Yeah. How about you?
Okay, so I went back and forth with this one because I feel like Cyclops is really has to be this all-American kind of dude. Like very much like he projects himself as the leader. And so I went back and forth between I went back and forth between Elordi, I think would be actually very funny in it. And I would also like to put forth Michael B. Jordan. I think Michael B. Jordan could do something really fucking interesting with that character. I think it would subvert it a little bit. And if we're already using Marvel actors, let's get him back. That's my piece.
Yeah.
What you think?
Of your things or my pick? Or my pick? My pick, I've said this before, and I'm going to lean on this forever. I think that the right choice is Patrick Schwarzenegger, who is like this tall American hunk of meat. He's perfect for it. And then his dad could play Cable. So his dad would be playing this time traveler from the future who's coming back to the past to interact with him. I think that would be a really cool meta reflection of the Terminator. You know what I mean?
Or, okay, Kurt Wyatt Russell.
Get out! You're fucking fired. That's the end of the episode. We'll see you guys this weekend with Ride the Republic Part 1.